Hi there guys, and welcome back to the channel, where today you're joining me in this S-Line Audi Q7. So the Q7 is a very popular model amongst the SUV range, and it is also immensely popular amongst those that need the 7 seats. They are 7 full-size adult seats, and that is worth mentioning because there are a lot of cars out there that do what they call a 5+2. And the +2 are 2 seats if you really need them. They're seats that you realistically can only put someone small into. But these are 7 full-size adult seats with the 3-point seat belts. It also offers immense practicality being a 7-seater. The 2 rear seats do fold flat, so you get a massive amount of boot space, and it's just a very big and enjoyable place to be. Now, a big car isn't for everyone because, of course, you do have to bear in mind of where you park it, on the roads that you drive, especially doing these kind of country lanes and things like that. And also, it does mean that it is slightly more expensive to run when it comes to tax costs, tyres, fuel and things like that. So why is it so popular amongst these SUVs? And it's a very simple answer. It's because they're really quite good. They offer a very good driving ability, a lot of comfort. It has the adjustable air suspension on these particular cars, so you can set it into an off-road height should you need to take it across a camping field or anything like that. And you also have what they call a dynamic mode, which is a little bit more sporty. It stiffens everything up. From 2010, it also had a much needed facelift in terms of both the appearance and then also the mechanical equipment it comes with. It comes with this 8-speed S-Tronic gearbox, which there was nothing realistically wrong with the 6-speed, but the 8-speed is just much better. You get a better economy because, of course, with that 8th gear, when you're sat at 70 miles an hour on the motorway or the dual carriageway, you're getting a better MPG because you're not having to push it so hard. The revs sit relatively low, and also it's just a bit more responsive. There is no lag with the gearbox changes. As I've mentioned in a lot of my previous videos, an 8-speed gearbox is my personal favourite. Sometimes when you get a 9 or a 10-speed, it's confused as to what gear it wants to be in, and it almost does the opposite. It almost tries to work too hard, and that almost has the effect of what they're trying to avoid. But an 8-speed just seems to hit that sweet spot. This particular one also has the 245 brake horsepower 3-litre V6 TDI engine, which is a phenomenal engine. They've used it across a huge amount of their range. It came in 3 different powers, so you had 204 brake horsepower, just over 220, and then this one at 245. There's nothing wrong with any of the engines, but this one is by no doubt in my mind the engine to have, because it is just that bit more exciting, a bit more responsive, and as mentioned, you really don't have to push it so hard. I've bought and I've sold the 204 brake horsepowers. They're great if you're just sitting on the motorway all day, but when it starts to come to a little bit of town driving, there's just that little bit of slowness about it, a bit sluggish really. It also has a wealth of options on this 2011 Audi Q7 S-Line. Near £9,000 worth of factory options, believe it or not, and a lot of the expense is taken up with the electric opening panoramic sunroof. A lot of people do look for those, and I can see why. It does let a lot of light into the cabin, makes it a very nice place to be. You've also got the sun blind that can come across as well, should you want to close that off. It also has these 21-inch S-Line alloy wheels. They really do fill the arches quite nicely. It makes it look quite aggressive and quite mean, especially since it also has the black styling package. Now, these, being a German manufacturer with Audi, these are all additional extras. So when looking for your next Audi Q7, you might want to make sure it does have the bits that you need, because if you don't, and you go for what was essentially a base model, you could be missing out on quite a bit of the technology that they could offer at the time. For example, this one here has the high technology package, which is this HDD satellite navigation screen, Bluetooth telephone connectivity, and it also streams audio. Now, if you have the low technology package, you don't get that streaming of audio, and in this day and age, most people would like to stream music through their car or listen to podcasts or anything like that. But that being said, when you have this package on it, I think it really does rival the likes of the similar time. So BMW, I think this is a much more modern fascia to it. You've got this colour information display. You've also got, as I say, this HDD satellite navigation. With Mercedes, it was always a little bit behind the times of these years, if you like. So this really does stand out, I think, in 2011 to be one of the more innovative cars out there. It offers, as I mentioned, a huge amount of practicality, a huge amount of comfort because it's got the adaptive suspension. It's just a really nice and solid car. Everything feels solid. Everything's worn relatively well. For example, this one here has done 130,000 miles, which is on the higher mileage side. There's no doubt about that. But it drives as if it's done half the miles. As long as you look after the car looks after you. I always mention it in my previous videos too. The maintenance is absolutely key. Oh. You know, considering the size of this car and the practicality it gives you and the comfort it gives you, it really does move with this 245 brake horsepower engine. As I say, you know, if you ended up with one of the other 3 litres, but you got all the spec and everything, I wouldn't be disappointed by any means. But if you can find one with all the goodies on it, with this 245 brake horsepower engine, I think it's definitely worth considering, as long as it's been well maintained. If you find one that has double the miles, but it's 245 brake horsepower and it hasn't been very well maintained, maybe steer away from it, especially if you can get one with everything that you want on it. It might be the 200 brake horsepower, might be the 220 brake horsepower, but if that's going to be more relevant to your everyday driving, then that's definitely the one to get. Of course it is. But you know, it is a quick engine, it's fair to say, especially with this 8-speed gearbox. I'm mightily impressed with it. You know, it's very quiet, it's very civilized, it's very comfortable, but you really do have that get up and go when you need it. So yeah, it's in terms of driving capability, it's definitely one to consider. So to talk more about the comfort of this car, you get these really quite nice and wide Alcantara and leather seats. They do have the electric heated functions on this particular one, which did come as standard with most S-Lines, but this one's also got the memory function too. I much prefer to have a full leather seat because you can wipe it easy, but I do quite like Alcantara at the same time because it does mean that it's not quite so hot on a hot summer's day, and it's also not brutally cold when you jump in it in the winter. So as much as I prefer a leather, that's not to discredit an Alcantara and leather seat either. And as I say, the only realistic reason that I'd have leather over this is just because it wipes clean, and I've got a dog and things like that, so it's just easier to keep it nice and tidy. But everything's where you'd expect it to be. It's all very intuitive and easy to use. Your window switches on the door card here. You've also got these child lock activations on the buttons on the back here, so that does actually activate both the child lock doors and also the windows. You haven't got to worry about whether you've remembered to turn those on. The mirror adjustment just above, you've also got the power fold mirrors as mentioned. It's got the automatic xenon headlights with LED daytime running lights just on the switch up here. It's quite good. This S-Line steering wheel is very nice. You've got this nice leather. It's perforated around the sides here, gives it a bit of a textured feel, and it's worn incredibly well. As I say, this one's done 130,000 miles, and I know other manufacturers where you really start to see it on the steering wheel, but this one doesn't have any wear to it whatsoever. The paddle shift controls just behind are quite nice to have. Cruise control is really easy to set up as well, so you can pull it forward to set it on and then just knock it up, and then you continue at the speed that it's currently doing. The second you touch your brake, it cancels it out, which is again very easy. You've got the dual climate control just down here, and it actually doubles up for your heated seat controls as well, so the same dial does your temperature and also the heated seat. Again, intuitive, easy enough. Obviously, being a 2011, still has a CD player, easy enough to use. And then you've got the HDD satellite navigation on this one here. It's a fixed screen. It's very intuitive, again, very easy to use. It's all controlled by this control panel down here. So you've got subheadings, you've got navigation, you've got telephone, car, radio, media, everything that you'd select. And of course, it takes you through to a menu, which is very much what you'd expect to see. All controlled via this dial. It's not a touch screen, but again, I quite like that because it does keep away the fingerprints and whatnot. As mentioned, it's got this brushed aluminium trim, which is actually quite an expensive option to have. I think it was a near enough £900 option to have this brushed aluminium trim. I mean, it certainly looks smart, but I'm not sure I'd pay that much for it. Again, you've got this electric opening panoramic sunroof. You've got the electric powered tailgate with the button in the front of the dash. You've also got a button on the key and obviously a button on the tailgate itself. So it is all close by, all very comfortable and intuitive to use. And you know, considering in its heyday it was the flagship model of Audi, I think it's definitely held its own. I think, you know, as I say, it doesn't look like it's done the miles it's done. It's all worn very well. It's still very, very comfortable. And it's the biggest thing I always say is maintenance. If you find one that's been really well maintained and it's got the spec that you want, then it's worth considering. If you find one that's got an even bigger spec, things that you're not even too fussed about, but it hasn't been maintained so well, I'd go for the one that's been better maintained, because it is going to give you less of a headache, touch wood, less of a headache in your car journey, of which that is the most important thing. You know, it's all well and good having the top spec and everything like that, but if it's going to be a headache, it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for you. So there we have it. So that is my review on this 2011 Audi Q7 S-Line, which by hook and crook does have a massive specification. It has been very well maintained. It does have the 245 brake horsepower engine. They're becoming slightly harder to find, but if you find the right one, it's definitely worth considering. They offer a huge amount of comfort. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course check out my previous videos, of which I've had other SUVs of the like. I've had the E70 BMW X5, I've had the Land Rover Discovery 4, which is a comparable 7-seater. So yeah, please do check those out. Thanks very much, and I'll see you for the next one.